Hare Krishna. Caitanya Caritamrita, Adi Lila Chapter 14, titled Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Childhood Pastimes. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's childhood pastimes. So, Kaviraj in the last chapter, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami already briefly described the advent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and now he'll talk a little bit about the Lord's childhood pastimes. And actually, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born, because most babies, when they cannot walk, just before they cannot walk, they're always lying down flat. So usually they're looking up and they're lying down on their backs with their stomach up. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would usually lie on his stomach upside down, and his parents, Sachimata and Jagannath Mishra, they would always be able to see his lotus feet he was showing his parents his lotus feet with the flag, the thunderbolt, the conch shell, the chakra, and the fish. So his mother and father were very astonished, and they said, "Oh, surely Krishna is surely the personification of child Krishna, of Krishna as a child, is in our Shalagram Shila, is in our home deity, and he has manifested himself in our child, and he's manifested himself in Nimai and is playing in the room." So, and once Nimai was sleeping, he woke up and he started crying, and Sachimata was feeding him, and she saw like, his lotus footprints, and she also saw his footprints on the floor. And so actually she called Nilambar Chakravarti. Nilambar Chakravarti was her father, an astrologer, and actually Nilambar Chakravarti, he said that the child, Nimai, has 32 marks on the child's body, that the 32 marks represent that he is a very great personality. So the 32 marks are that 5 body parts are large, 5 body parts are like very smooth and fine, 7 body parts are reddish, 6 of them are raised, like, uplifted a little bit, 3 are small, 3 are wide, broad, and 3 are deep. So actually the large body parts are his nose and his arms, his chin, his eyes, and his knees. And the very fine body parts are his skin and the tip of his fingers and his teeth and his body hair and also the hair on his head. And the 5 reddish part were his eyes, the bottom of his feet, and his palms, and then his like tongue, his lips, like his tongue, his nails, a little bit reddish tint, and his lips. And the raised body parts are his chest is raised, his shoulders are raised, his nails, his nose, and his waist, and his mouth. And the small body parts are his neck is small, his thighs aren't so big, and Prabhupada says the male organ, and also the wide body parts are his waist, his forehead, and his chest. And the deep body parts are his navel, his belly button. His voice is deep, and his existence is deep. So, and he said the baby is just like Narayana, and that the baby will actually be able to deliver all the 3 worlds. The baby has the qualities of Lord Narayan. He will deliver all the 3 worlds. And Nilambar Chakravarti also said, "I propose to perform a name-giving ceremony." He wanted to name the baby, and then he said, "We should observe a festival and call for all the brahmanas because that day is going to be very auspicious." And he said, in the future, the child will protect and maintain all the world. For this reason, he should be called Vishvambar. So they named him Vishvambar. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he started growing up, he started crawling, and then he started walking. And naturally, as a child, he made many friends. He was playing, and one day, Sachi Mata, she made nice sweets, some nice snacks on a plate, and she brought it for him, and she asked him to eat it. And she left, and she did her household duties. But when she left, Nimai, he went to hide, and he started eating dirt. Just like Krishna, when he was small, he was eating dirt. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he went and he was eating dirt. And when Sachimata came back from her household duties, and she saw, what is this? Nimai's eating dirt, and she became very angry with him. She said, what are you doing? You're the son of a Brahmana. Why are you eating dirt? You're going to get very sick. And, she naturally became very upset at seeing this. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he actually says, 14:24, he says, she snatched the dirt from him, and she asked the Lord why he was eating it. And he said, Mother, why are you angry? You already gave me dirt to eat. What is my fault? And he says, because rice, sweets, and other things to eat, they're all transformations of dirt. This is dirt, that is dirt. Please think, what is the difference between them? But this is actually Mayavadi philosophy that, we're all one, yada yada, that Prabhupada said this is actually Mayavad philosophy. So Sachimata, she was thinking, why is my child speaking this Mayavad philosophy? What is happening? So she replied, she gave her answer back to this Mayavadi philosophy. She says, well, you see, I can have a clay pot, a clay water pot. The clay water pot is made of dirt, yes? And with this clay water pot, transformed from dirt, I can carry water everywhere very easily. But if I just have a lump of dirt and I try to pour water on it, it will be useless. And Prabhupada said, even though she was a woman, she could defeat the Mayavad philosophy that only speculates about this and that. So she was telling Mahaprabhu like this, and then and then Nimai said, so why didn't you teach me this philosophy first in the beginning? He said. And then Sachimata said, okay, now please come and eat this. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, now I understand, okay, now I understand. Next time I'm hungry, I'll go to you. Then he went to Sachimata's arm, and he let Sachimata feed him. So he was showing his opulence, and then he was hiding himself. And then also the pastime of the Brahmana's offering. One day a Brahmana was a guest at Jagannath Mishra's house, and he wanted to cook something for his Gopal deity. So he got some ingredients from Jagannath Mishra and Sachimata, and he prepared some prasad for his deity, and then he started offering. He was calling out to the Lord, Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmanya Hitacha, and then Nimai came and he started eating the prasad. So the Brahmana said, oh, what's this? My offering is finished. I cannot offer this to Gopal. So then the Brahmana became very upset. Then Jagannath Mishra said, please forgive my son. Take some more things and offer to Narayan again. So Jagannath Mishra got very upset with Nimai, but the Brahmana said, it's okay, don't be so angry with him, I'll cook again, don't worry. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went away, and the Brahmana cooked again. He was offering Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmanya Hitacha, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came again. And the Brahmana got very upset, he called out, and it was already getting late at night. So Jagannath Mishra put Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to sleep, put Nimai to sleep, and locked Nimai up. He locked Nimai in a room to keep him away from the Brahmana, and he thought, okay. So he said, dear Brahmana, this is the last time, please. Just one last time, please cook for your deity. So Brahmana said, okay, this last time I'm going to cook for my deity. And it was late at night, and Brahmana was offering, and still Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, and he started eating in the middle of the offering. So the Brahmana thought, okay, maybe Vishnu does not want me to cook prasadam for him today. I won't cook. And then, actually, actually, while everyone was sleeping, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, the Brahmana got very upset. He said, "Oh, please, little boy, why are you taking my offering? I just want to offer this prasadam to Krishna. Your father can give you more things to eat if you want." And actually, Mahaprabhu said, actually, before, he showed, Nimai showed the Brahmana that he was actually Krishna. And then he said, before you were a guest, the Brahmana was a guest in the house of Krishna's father, Nanda Maharaj. Before, the Brahmana was a guest in the house of Nanda Maharaj, and they were feeding the Brahmana, and so they were feeding that Brahmana, and then the Brahmana came again to become a guest of Jagannath Mishra. So he said, "Oh, Brahmana, you were calling me. You were calling my name. You were calling me to come and eat." So I was eating. Then Mahaprabhu then said, "Okay, now I told you, I revealed to you my true identity. Now you don't tell this to anyone." So then the Brahmana became satisfied. And also another pastime in his childhood, that two thieves, they saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sitting in the courtyard. Because Nimai, he's so very beautiful. He has many ornaments. Sachimata decorated him very nicely, many jewels. So the thieves saw him sitting in the courtyard. They thought, "Oh, such this beautiful little boy. He's only very young. We'll steal him. And we'll take all his jewels. And then we'll bring him back." So they were carrying him on his shoulders. They told Nimai, "Okay, we'll go buy you some sweets now, okay?" So Nimai went on their shoulders, and they were carrying Nimai away. They're planning to take Nimai to their hideout, but on the way, they got lost. They were walking in circles, and then they came right back to Jagannath Mishra's house in the end. And Jagannath Mishra, this whole time, Jagannath Mishra and Sachimata, they were looking for Chaitanya, looking for Nimai. And then they saw two men coming back with Nimai on their shoulders. And Jagannath Mishra thought, "Oh, these two wonderful people, they finally found my son." So Jagannath Mishra, he went inside to bring some gift for them, to say, "Thank you for bringing back my son. Thank you for finding my son." But the thieves, in their mind, they were thinking, "Oh no, this boy's father saw us carrying this boy. I think he's going to punish us. Maybe he's going to call the police." So they quickly put Nimai back, quickly let Nimai run to his mother, and they ran away into the forest. So Jagannath Mishra didn't get the chance to give them the gift. And also, the pastime of Jagdish and Hiranya Pandit, that one Ekadashi, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was feeling very sick. He was telling his father, "Oh, I don't feel good. So Sachimata said, "You want to eat this? No. You want to eat this? No." So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "I only want to go to the house of Jagdish and Hiranya Pandit," because he said, now Jagdish and Hiranya Pandit, they're cooking some boga for Vishnu, because on Ekadashi day we have to fast. We're not allowed to eat grains, but Krishna can eat grains. So he said, "Oh, now Jagdish and Hiranya Pandit, they're cooking for their home deity, and I want to eat the boga that they're cooking." So Jagdish and Hiranya Pandit were somewhere on the other side of town, Jagannath Mishra and Sachimata never told Nimai about some people called Jagdish and Hiranya Pandit. So then they went to the home of Jagdish and Hiranya Pandit, and surprisingly, just then they were going to offer the prasad to Vishnu. So then Nimai said, "Oh, Jagdish and Hiranya Pandit, I want to eat this prasadam. I want to eat this boga that you're offering to Lord Vishnu." And Jagdish and Hiranya Pandit were thinking, "I think, this boy, he must be a great personality, because he knew that we were cooking for Vishnu even though we're on the other side of town." So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was having many pastimes, and as a small child, obviously he found some friends, and together they would play, and sometimes they would go to houses, they would go to different houses, and there sometimes there would be different things to eat, some different food, and they would go in and they would take the food from the house, and they would break the pots, and they would eat it, and sometimes they would fight together over the food, And actually, and they would steal things, and the owners of the houses, they would complain to Sachimata, and Sachimata would chastise Nimai. She would say, why do you steal others' things? Why do you fight with other children? And why do you go inside others' houses? What do you not have in your own house? And Prabhupada actually says in a purport to Lila Chapter 14, verse 42, he says that like whatever is in the spiritual world, we naturally have in the material world. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself. How is he stealing and how is he fighting? It's not because like he's stealing like a thief or fighting like an enemy, but he's doing it in a loving condition, and he steals as a child, not because he wants something, but because as a natural instinct. And in the material world also, small children without enmity or bad will sometimes go to a neighboring house, might take something, or sometimes they might fight. Even Krishna, like some other children, used to do all these things in her childhood. So without the existence of stealing propensity and fighting propensity in the spiritual world, they cannot exist here in the material world. And the difference between material feelings and spiritual feelings is that in the spiritual world, everything's done with friendship and love, and in the material world, everything's done with enmity and being envious. So in the spiritual world, when all these activities exist, there's no hatred or anger, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't need anything, he's not poor. But in the spiritual world, all these are happy activities, but in the material world, they're all because of miserable conditions. And actually, when Sachimata was chastising Nimai, sometimes he would get very upset, and he would go break some pots, and then Sachimata would pacify him, and then he would become ashamed of what he did. And actually, sometimes when he went to somebody's house and there was nothing there to eat, and sometimes there were small babies there, some very small children there, he would tease the babies, make the babies cry. And one neighbor, he complained to Sachimata. He says, "Your boy Nimai, even though my baby is very small, he will put the water in the ears of the baby because Nimai cannot find anything to eat. So he will take water and put water in the ears of my baby and make it cry." So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing all these kind of things. And actually once, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was chastising his mother. Even though he was very small, he was just a toddler, with a soft little hand, he was chastising his mother. And the mother, Sachimata, she pretended to faint. She fell on the floor and she pretended to faint. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimai, he became very scared. He said, "Oh, what did I do? What happened? What did I do? I made my mother faint." So then the neighbor ladies, the neighboring ladies, they saw this and they said, "Oh, the only way to bring your mother from fainting is you have to go and bring some coconuts for her." So he went out and immediately he came back and he brought 2 large coconuts in his hands. So they were very astonished, and Sachimata woke up. And also sometimes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would love to go swim in the Ganga with his friends, and also young girls, because it's a custom, young girls, like at around the age of 9, 10, 11, they would go to Ganga and they would worship Shiva and different demigods for a good husband and different prayers, and that was the custom. And actually, while the girls were, all the girls, they would gather together and they would worship Shiva and different demigods. And actually, while the girls were doing their worship, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would come and he would sit there right in the middle. And then he would tell the girls, "Worship me and I will give you good husbands, I will give you many benedictions." And he said, the Ganges and Goddess Durga, they're only my maid servants. And what to speak of other demigods, even Shiva is just my servant, And he would, without the permission of the girls, he would take the sandalwood pulp and smear it on his own body. He would put the flower garlands on his own neck. Then he would snatch and eat the sweets and, the rice and bananas. But then the girls became upset with Nimai, but actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very happy. So he pretended to he gave them blessings. He said, since you gave me your offerings, you'll have handsome, clever, and young husband, and he will be rich, and each of you will have 7 sons, and your sons will all have long lives, and they'll be very intelligent, and they will take care of you in your old age. So like this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was giving benedictions. And then the girls, because then hearing this benediction from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the girls on the inside, they were very happy to receive the benediction, but externally, as natural for girls, they rebuked the Lord under the pretense of anger. So they were pretending to be angry. They were very upset. They said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what are you doing? Nimai, what are you doing? But actually, inside they were happy to get these benedictions. And Prabhupada says, this double dealing is natural for girls. When they're satisfied within, they externally show dissatisfactions. Such dealings are very palatable to boys who try to make friendships with them. And actually some girls, they tried to escape with their paraphernalia for worshipping Shiva. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Nimai saw this, he said, if you do not give me the offerings, you know what will happen? I will curse you. You will have an old husband, and he will have 4 or more other wives. Because actually in that time, marrying more than one wife was allowed. If you can maintain more than one wife, you're allowed to have more than one wife. Because every girl, she has to marry. But if there are not enough husbands, you can marry more than one girl if you can maintain them. So when the girls who were trying to run away, they heard this curse, they were thinking, oh, maybe his curse might come true. So they got scared, and even though they didn't want to, they gave the offerings to him, and then he blessed the girls. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was playing like this. And also one day, a girl named Lakshmi, the daughter of Vallabhacharya, she came to the Ganges, and before she was formerly Sita, and she was formerly Rukmini, and also the Gopi Chandravali. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Lakshmi, in his heart, immediately his attraction for her immediately awakened, and she also felt very satisfied in her heart when she saw him, because they're eternal husband and wife, so they were naturally attracted to each other. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the offerings from Lakshmi, and the girl Lakshmi, she was worshipping him with the garland, the sandalwood, and etc. And Kaviraj Goswami says nobody can understand the dealings of Lakshmi and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even though they were just children, they were just playing like this. And actually once, when Nimai was a small baby, he was lying on the bed with his mother, Sachimata. He could walk a little bit, and Sachimata said, Nimai, can you go call your father? So when he was going to go call his father, Jagannath Mishra, when he was going, they were hearing ankle bells from his feet. Though he didn't have any ankle bells on his feet. So they were very astonished. And they said, oh, what's happening? And Jagannath Mishra said, oh, my son doesn't have any ankle bells on his feet. Where's this sound coming from? And also Sachimata said, oh yes, and I see people, they come, and they're saying some things, I cannot hear them, they're saying something, but it looks like they're offering prayers to my baby Nimai. And also another time, Nimai, he was being naughty, he was doing something. So Jagannath Mishra, as a father, he was chastising him. He was telling him about the right thing to do and the wrong thing to do. And then Jagannath Mishra, that night, he had a dream. A beautiful Brahmana was there, and the Brahmana, he was very angry. He said, why are you chastising your son? Do you even know who your son is? And Jagannath Mishra said, it doesn't matter who he is. He may be a yogi or a demigod or a great saint, but it's my duty to chastise him. And Jagannath Mishra said, if I don't teach him, how will he know about all these things? And the Brahmana said, but he's such a great personality. Of course he knows about these things. And Jagannath Mishra said, even if he knows, that's his part. But my part, it doesn't matter what happens, my part is still my duty to chastise my son, because he's my son. And so they were talking back and forth like this in the dream. But Jagannath Mishra, he was absorbed in parental love. He didn't want to hear anything of this philosophy that my son is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then in the end of his dream, the Brahmana, he said, okay. The Brahmana became very pleased with Jagannath Mishra's attitude, and the Brahmana went away. And then Jagannath Mishra woke up, and he thought, what a dream. And he went and he told all of his friends and relatives about this wonderful dream. So every day, Gauranga, he was increasing the love of his parents. And then the day of the Hate Kari ceremony came. It's the Hate Kari ceremony, it's the beginning of the education. It's when the student, the boy, he learns the alphabet, and the teacher or the father takes the boy's hand and helps him write his first alphabet. How to write the alphabet, and then after you learn the alphabet, the Sanskrit and Bengali alphabet, then you learn the combinations of 2 letters and all that. That's the next step of education. But only in a few days, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he learned all the letters and all the combinations, and he was learning very quickly. He was a very intelligent boy. And like this, he was astonishing everyone. He was so charming and such a sweet boy. But that's all Kaviraj briefly described in this chapter for now about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's childhood pastimes. Hare Krishna.